On December 31, 2019, the World Health Organization's China office heard the first reports of a previously unknown virus behind a number of pneumonia cases in Wuhan, a city in eastern China with a population of over 11 million. What started as an epidemic mainly limited to China has now become a truly global pandemic. Just to give a perspective on the speed of how this occurred, on the 23rd of January, there were 845 confirmed cases globally. And in 1 month later, a sharp increase was seen of 79,205 cases. As of recording this video, there's a staggering 400,000 or more confirmed cases. So what happened, and why is this virus spreading so fast? It all started to what appears to have originated from a Wuhan seafood market where wild animals, including marmots, birds, rabbits, bats, and snakes, are traded illegally. Coronaviruses are known to jump from animals to humans, so it's thought that the first people infected with the disease were a group primarily made up of stallholders from the seafood market who have contracted it from contact with animals. While the cause of the current outbreak was initially unknown, on January 7th, Chinese health authorities identified that it was caused by a strain of coronavirus that hadn't been encountered in humans before. 5 days later, the Chinese government shared the genetic sequence of the virus so that other countries could develop their own diagnostic kits. That virus is now called SARS-CoV-2, otherwise known as COVID-19. It then started being transmitted between humans. This became apparent after medical staff became infected with the virus. Since then, evidence of widespread human-to-human transmission outside of China has been well established, making chances of containing the virus much harder. The Chinese government then responded to the initial outbreak by placing Wuhan and nearby cities under a de facto quarantine encompassing roughly 50 million people in Hubei province. This quarantine is now slowly being lifted as authorities watch to see whether cases will rise again. In Italy, which is experiencing the largest outbreak outside of China, the government took the unprecedented step of extending a lockdown to the entire country, shutting down cinemas, theaters, gyms, discos, and pubs, and banning funerals and weddings. Other countries that have become the epicenter of the virus also include Spain, Germany, and Iran, with Spain confirming that more than 39,000 patients infected with the disease, which have sadly resulted in 2,696 deaths, the second highest number within Europe. There, citizens are under lockdown, with the government shutting all schools, bars, restaurants, and non-essential supermarkets down. People are only allowed to leave their homes to buy food or go to work. Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses that are known to infect both humans and animals, and in humans cause a respiratory illness that ranges from common colds to much more serious infections. The most well-known case of a coronavirus epidemic was SARS, which, after first being detected in southern China in 2002, went on to affect 26 countries and resulted in more than 8,000 cases and 774 deaths. The coronavirus has now spread so far in fact, that it has now reached every single continent on the planet apart from Antarctica. While things looked like they were slowing down in China, the outbreak started picking up in the rest of the world. There are now confirmed cases in at least 196 countries and territories. Outside of China, Italy has seen the highest number of cases with 63,927 confirmed infections, mostly in the north of the country, and 6,077 deaths, more than in China. The entire country is now on lockdown after the quarantine covering the north of the country was extended on March 9th. You see, the problem rose when people started comparing this virus to SARS and other viruses like Ebola. A lot of people started to disregard the seriousness of the problem in hand, and this led to more and more people being affected and then transmitting that onto others. It wasn't even long ago when the president of the US, Donald Trump, was calling it nothing more than a common flu. This was in order to stop people from panic buying and trying to reassure them that it wasn't anything serious. And sure, that may have reduced the panic buying and may have reassured the economy, but what that's done is cause more harm because people were continuing to go about their daily lives without knowing who has this deadly disease. This has caused for the disease to increase at a staggering rate. Once the symptoms really started to kick in, people. I mean, look, the reason why these figures are only 400,000 is that these are the people who are actually tested, meaning the actual figures of people infected are believed to be a lot more than this. Experts believe that the United States still isn't testing enough people to detect the outbreak's true spread. Scientists have confirmed it takes 5 days on average for people to start showing the symptoms of coronavirus, which makes this disease, as some people have called it, the invincible enemy. So look, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube claiming that this virus is nothing more than a flu, and that it's the media that's trying to bring fear into people. That's completely false. It's because of these videos that people start to think this virus isn't anything serious, meaning they will go about their daily lives without any precautions, risking millions of vulnerable people's lives. This is the only video I've seen online which really describes the virus as what it is. It's an invisible enemy which, if we don't take seriously, will lead to a catastrophic impact. Look, while it may look all doom and gloom, this video is just to highlight the facts. The good news is, however, as the number of new cases continues to rise sharply, people are also recovering from the infection. Globally, more than 100,000 people have recovered from COVID-19, which is about 26% of all the people who have had confirmed infections, although the true number of coronavirus cases will be much higher. In order to protect your health as well as others, it may sound very cliché, but do please wash your hands and stay indoors unless necessary. It's some of the rare moments in history where staying at home and literally doing nothing may in fact save millions of lives. Do not mess this up, please.